The date is the 17th of June, 2022. The show is the Unfiltered, the truth about some of the stories that have made headlines from across the week. And we shall be looking at some stories that happen and still are continuing as they are developing stories. And we have Zambia's president visit to Kenya, and also we look at the fallout in Kenya Kwanza in Kiambu gubernatorial race. And then there was a spat between Khalwale and Malala in Kakamega yesterday, and also this Sakaja degree saga continues. And then later after that we shall switch and look at Somalia's new prime minister, who is yet to be cleared by parliament, but there is a proposal for that. They do have a prime minister. And also Cyril Ramaphosa's money scandal, the president of South Africa. And then we will go to Uganda and look at a public uproar over the 2.5 billion Uganda shillings luxury cars for Speaker and her deputy. And then, if at all we still have time, we will look at President Uhuru Kenyatta's proposal for creating immediately a regional troop to go counter the rebels in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So that is what we have in store for you. And my name is Miriam Ogutu. But before that, we are joined also on the other side by Dr. David Matanga. Doctor, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam in Nairobi. Thank you very much, viewers across the globe. Thank you very much for watching us and continue watching us. This is Punchline Africa TV, the only television online sub-Saharan Africa that continues to give news, bring news, events, report on security matters. Our security programs are very clear and our observations are very clear. Investigative journalism and other type of form of journalism that we bring here. Good morning. I am okay. Dr. David Matanga, across the bridge, very far away from Miriam Ogutu. Good morning.
All right, good morning. So before we get into that conversation, I'd like to bring us up to date with the latest news from across Kenya, and we look at the headlines. We start with the Standard newspaper this morning. The next First Lady, one of these respected women, a preacher, a high school teacher, a flight attendant and a judge, will succeed Margaret Kenyatta as First Lady, a supportive role to the presidency. We explore who the wives of the presidential candidates are, and we see Ngai Mbuini Mwaure, the wife of Wahiga Mwaure, who is a judge in the Employment and Labor Relations Court. And also we see Mila Lee Chetam, that is an American flight attendant. She married Professor George Wajakoya at Family of Faith, a Christian church, in February 17th, 2020 in Arizona, United States. And then we do have Rachel Ruto, the wife of the current Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto. So they're there. And then village plagued by deformities, that is on page 3. Degrees, Ruto backs Sakaja, drags in Raila. The story is on page 9. Matatu fares to rise in fuel price hike. That is on page 26. And then 10 games to shape EPL season. You'll find that on the sports page on page 42 and 43. The Star newspaper, inside Raila's dream cabinet, Azimio boss has publicly asked supporters to allow bigwigs in his campaign team to work with him at the national level. The story is on page 4 and 5. Maribe lied on how Joey got gunshot wound. That is on page 2. Ruto deep state called Uganda over Sakaja's degree. That is on page 8 as well. And Matiang'i assures envoy's election will be peaceful. That is on page 2. The Daily Nation, the main headline, now Sakaja faces arrest for forgery. The embattled Nairobi senator was last evening in the crosshairs of an international criminal investigation over his degree certificate, with Ugandan officials demanding proof of his admission to Team University, evidence he paid tuition fees, and his transcripts. In Nairobi, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations confirmed that Mr. Sakaja and officials of the university were under investigation for transnational crime. It gets even murkier. The story is on page 12 and 13. Where did the billions go? Auditor General flags 4.6 billion Kenya shillings missing at Uwezo Fund. And that is on page 7. White Kanzu Cape and live bullet linked to Joey and Maribe in murder case. Detectives tells court that police seized a total of 40 items of interest from Maribe's and the victims' houses that linked the two suspects to the murder. That is on page 6. Pay dispute sparks port cargo delays. That is on page 16. So that is what we have on the leading newspapers in Kenya this morning. Doc, I'm sure you do have the rest of the papers from across Africa and others from outside.
Yes, I have them electronically here. Thank you very much, Miriam, and thank you very much, viewers watching us and listening to Miriam. Thank you very much across the globe. I have newspapers from Africa African, the world, and the Europe. Let me read them, Miriam. I have not prepared my machine. Yes, here we are. We start with Zimbabwe, the daily news day. Pay half salaries in United States dollars. The Zimbabwe workers are saying they must have some of the money in US dollars. Miriam, as you know very well, this situation of Zimbabwe is very critical, is very serious, and believe me or not, it has got a lot of implications in that if you don't pay the dollar, if you don't pay them the dollar, then the food, you have to carry a lot of money. You know, you can imagine maybe a bag full of money to take to the shop. So they are saying pay us in dollars, and some of them now use cards. The daily news, the Zim we want concerns all of us. People are beginning to see that they need to come back and, have reconciliation really. If you don't have reconciliation, this country cannot move. The way Kenyatta did his reconciliation in Kenya. The Guardian of United Kingdom says Johnson may scrap roles of ethics advisor after Gate's resignation. More resignations are coming out of Britain in the United Kingdom after Prime Minister Johnson was found guilty by the parliament, and some of his members of parliament, backbenchers, want him out. So there are more people leaving cabinet, more advisors. Why was he not advised? Why was he not told that drinking, when you have told the whole nation that just put on your mask and then don't keep a distance, then you go to the nightclub or you go in your own house, which is a government house. That is the accusation that is dogging Mr. Johnson up to the end. It might bring him down. He might survive the term until further elections. But I don't think the Conservatives will go with Johnson into elections, because that will be very dangerous for them. Everywhere in the world, the inflation has hit 11%, says Bank of England. So if you are thinking of Africa, which has got quite a lot of, everybody in Africa is crying. But I'm telling you, the worst is here. It's in Europe now. If you get a Uber that used to be 10 shillings or $10 or 10 euros, the Uber has jumped up to about 20 euros. A short distance, because the fuel to fill a full pump of a normal car in the United Kingdom, Miriam, at the moment is 100 pounds. And we used to fill these tanks for 2014, those smaller cars. A Range Rover would go for about 25 pounds. 25 pounds to 30, the full tank. And you even shake like this so that the space can come. You have seen people at the petrol station shaking the cars like this so that petrol can go somewhere else. Now 100 pounds. And that is a smaller car. The Range Rover is 150. Petrol has jumped because of the Ukrainian war, the effects of the war, which Pope calls a third world war. Pope Paul has said it is a third world war. If you are waiting for it, it started a long time ago. If the Son of God can tell us, the man who speaks to God every day can tell us that this is a third world war, then we must prepare. The biggest problem that we have, Miriam, for us in Africa, we don't prepare. We are not proactive. And I'm speaking frankly, confidently, we are not. We don't prepare. We just wait. You will see, I am happy with President Uhuru Kenyatta, who said Africa must form a consortium of fuel, a fuel consortium for all this, because the source of commodities rising, the prices going up is fuel. Production, fuel, anything that you talk about, who is transporting that meat? Meat halali from the butchery, you need fuel. How are the lights working there? Diesel must work. Who's sugaring, kushaga, what is it called? Kushaga nini?
Milling the...
Millet.
Milling the maize flour.
Flour. Milling.
The millers.
Yes. It is sad. Very, very sad. Therefore, it is very, very, very important that we acknowledge and tell the people the truth about what is happening in Africa. We should not be shy and say we are all right. The prices are going to go up. Miriam, another newspaper from Britain, no, this time Nigeria, weakest camp fumes warns PDP as Atiku picks Okwara running mate. Atiku has now picked his running mate, and there you are. It's called Okoa. I don't know which region. I've not gone deeper. The Guardian of Nigeria says, why I chose Okoa over Wike, despite the party's nod. And Atiku wants somebody that he can control. Atiku is like a Ruto in Kenya, your country. You wouldn't like to pick an educated man. Wike is a very educated guy, very well liked. He doesn't like corruption. So, Atiku is a close ally of Deputy President William Ruto. So, whatever they are doing it the same in concert. So he has picked a very weak man who is bringing chaos. Another newspaper from Nigeria is The Nation. It says VP slot, how did PDP editors dropped wiki for Okoa? You know, because Okoa, wiki cannot tolerate corruption. Okoa can easily lock you up. So there is a problem there. And then, the Daily News of Tanzania, Samia stresses child protection. Yesterday was a child day for African children. But why should it be African children? All children worldwide suffer. But why do they pick African children? Because of the massacre of Soweto, Miriam. The Sharpeville massacre of Soweto, where hundreds and hundreds of younger people in the younger generation, they were massacred, where Stephen Biko was killed in South Africa during the apartheid regime. So we call it Africa Child Day, which was celebrated yesterday across the continent in various capacities. In Tanzania, the president has stressed that we should protect the children. Is very important. But what is happening? World Bank in Tanzania has approved $648 billion loan for enhancing infrastructure in Tanzania. My God, this is a huge, Miriam. It is a huge amount of money. If you convert it to Kenya shillings, it is still huge. It remains huge. Since Magufuli died, and this Samia Suluhu came to power. She changed the direction. She changed the direction for the Tanzanians. And Tanzanians, most of them at the moment are very, I've been speaking to very many of them. I have lots of friends in Tanzanian security, the army, the government, foreign affairs, and other friends in intelligence in Tanzania whom we have been together for a long time. And some of them speak very well about the new changes. And they say infrastructure. This is something that is the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta. In Kenya, infrastructure, dig the road. Next week we shall be showing you the infrastructure, live display of all the president's infrastructure. Next week on Wednesday, there will be a day for us, and we shall mention to you later on. You will see our flyer. We are going to be in the coastal city next week, mentioning from Wednesday. We shall be doing all the projects, and all the people of the legacy will be knowing what has been done so far. In this analysis, we shall come to a conclusion. We shall tell the people of Africa, of Kenya, of all those maybe doubting Thomases that we are home. There is something that a legacy has been left here. Media, moving on. The Tanzanian Citizen newspaper usually is a moderate, is a government newspaper, or the Citizen.
No, the Citizen is
not a government newspaper anyway.
It's a sister company.
It's for the Citizen, for the one of
Kenya.
Of Kenya, yeah.
It's the sister, of Nation, of the Daily Nation, yeah.
It's Macharia's paper in Kenya. So, well, Macharia's paper
Daily
in
Nation.
Tanzania.
Daily Nation.
The what?
The Daily Nation. It's for the Nation Media Group, yes.
Yeah, they have both.
Yeah.
Is it Daily Nation or this the Citizen is for the Daily Nation.
That's why it was being closed down with Magufuli all the time.
Okay, fine. I was thinking of the Citizen of Kenya. So thank you very much on that one. And switch to gas to slash fuel bill, government urge. Yes. You know that in Tanzania they are saying the gas is cheaper. It's cheaper, but are there gas cars? Are we seeing gas? Yes. I think there's gas. Is it? There's electric and the gas. Knowledge-based regional economy in the offing in East Africa. Yes. This is a great news from Tanzania. I mean, a person, you have been observing the Tanzanian type of life. And if you see some of the things, headlines coming from there, like this medium, what's your comment? What do you think?
We also have the same. We also have the same here. I think it was introduced. There's a hybrid cars that can use fuel and also can use LPG. So we also have it here. I think it's
but I'm saying that's okay. I'm saying generally.
Yeah, Madam Sulu, she's doing well. She's doing well. Yeah.
Because I was very worried that there were hardliners that were making things go differently. Tanzania, that over those days is no longer the same. The things are beginning. I'm told every part of Tanzania there's a grader making noise. And more minerals are being discovered, which is very good. Outside there might be even bigger oil. You know, it sits down on the level, height and down. There might be oil, you never know. So, well, good job done. And one of the best things that I've seen, is security. Tanzania seems to be very shy of discussing much about their security and their operations. But Miriam, believe me or not, they are very clandestine. They are very deadly. It's not a joke. They will not take any chances. about their security. The Daily Nation, the new vision of Uganda, the government paper in Uganda, it says Museveni holds security meeting over Democratic Republic of Congo. I don't know he's holding it with who. Miriam, you have details there. Usually Uganda, I avoid talking beyond my level. So I just pass it in passing and say whatever happens there. Yeah, he holds, after 36 years in power, Museveni blames past regimes for poverty in Uganda. President Yoweri Museveni has blamed the past leaders and the colonialists for Uganda's poverty, saying they poisoned the minds of the hard-working farmers. Okay, 36 years.
What paper is that? What?
It is on Radio Live, and he said in Daily Monitor, actually. Daily Monitor has quoted him. He's blaming past leaders. He's blaming Matsanga, Obote, and the rest that were the problem. I think
he's almost now maybe 30, going to 37, if I'm not wrong, or 36, going to 30, something like that. Okay. My comrade, fellow fighter from Tanzania, mambo ndio hiyo, tunafika mambo ndio hiyo ya saa za mwisho zinaonekananga. So in life, you don't harass the past, you don't harass the future, you don't harass the present. You do you know that, Miriam? It is always God marks miracles, my dear sister. That 7 years, we are still blaming Idi Amin. It's funny.
Idi Amin has gone to God, and God has given him a punishment already, because I believe he didn't go to heaven. Please, let's be realistic. That things have gone. Today is a day for UNFILTERED. Still on Uganda, Miriam, one thing that on your program, which you should have added, you have added the limousine cars for the speaker, but there's a mysterious 40 million each MP. They woke up in the morning, they found, have you heard the story? It is very interesting. MPs in Uganda found 40 million shillings each on account. Allah? And they didn't know where it came from. So some MPs, those in the opposition, are saying to Narudisha, would you return this money, Miriam?
Yeah.
Let's start from there.
Yes. That's
you wouldn't behave like you wouldn't behave like a Mutahi.
No, you go report it, because obviously, what is it doing in your account if it's not supposed to be there? Yeah. You have to report.
Go ahead.
Anonymity. Yeah.
It's not supposed to be there,
yeah,
but it is there. How did it land there?
Yeah.
Don't you ask how did it land there? Miriam.
Yeah, that's why you have to go report it, because maybe you don't know how it landed there, so you have to go.
And the people now.
You have to go to the bank manager and say,
Miriam,
yeah.
Miriam, this has divided the parliament. This has divided the MPs. Some are saying, you have found free money. What do you do?
It's not.
And all of them, some of them are keeping quiet.
There's nothing like free money in this world. You go report it.
No.
Yeah.
You don't, but thank you. I am telling you, the MPs in Uganda are not reporting.
Okay.
The only MPs who have come up and found this man on their account are opposition NUP party members.
Okay.
Who have said And even those, not all of them,
have reported.
Yes, some are saying, if this has come, that's okay. Miriam, it brings me to one question. This is unfiltered. We are not going to wait for formality. Unfiltered. People in Kenya, in your country, right now, down there in Nairobi, are voting. I want to ask the people of Kenya, why do you go to the MP to ask for money? Maybe Douglas Krimi, we are joined by Douglas Krimi. Earlier on, we had the lady by name Gladwell. She went off. Douglas Krimi, are you settled to answer this question? Miriam, we are with Miriam battling. Why do you ask your MP for money? And you go there, you have a graduation coming, you have got a ceremony, you have got a sick person in. Why do we ask for money from the MPs? That's my big question. Douglas, if you are settled, if you are not yet settled, Miriam, let's answer why we are now going to elect people.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Douglas.
How are you?
Fine. You took part in an election and you saw how people were asking for money.
Yes.
So why do they ask for money?
Dr. David Masanga, good morning, Miriam Oguchu, to our crew and also to our friends across the world. And I'm very sorry for coming in late. I was caught up in something. But the issue of the African voter or the Kenyan voter asking for money or monetary rewards or any
You seem to be having a bit of
become a pandemic by itself, because we do not have proper civic education to the people. That if I use 10 million, for example, I used over 2 million shillings, 2.6 million Kenya shillings, to go and learn for a political office. That is about $20,000 and some dollars on top of it. And I had to use that money because people asking for money from my political office, even into my own house where I sleep, and everywhere people asking for money to get me into office. And you end up not getting the leadership that you deserve, or get a leadership that is going to make sure that they are going to return and also make a profit over the money that they used over the campaign. I've also said that the African voter or the Kenyan voter has become a cartel. Dr. David Masanga, the African voter has become totally a cartel. You have to cop something or you have to part with something for them to wake up and also vote for you and give you a good, proper office. For example, the person that William Ruto got into office in our world cannot represent us properly, cannot do oversight properly, because I think he's not even technically or even academically prepared for the task ahead. He cannot be able to express himself in English. He cannot be able to express himself even including in Kiswahili on the floor of the house. And this is why I'm saying, if you are to elect a leader, do not ask for handouts from them. If you ask for handouts from them, every charlatan, every criminal will go gather money from the illegal activities and get into office. And then for the next 5 years, you keep blaming people from one end to another. But since the African voter has become a cartel, he is entitled, he has entitled himself to a part of your resources as you are running for office. For example, how do you expect a young man like myself to raise 10 million shillings or 20 million shillings for distribution during the campaigns? And what if I get into office? The first business of the day is to return the route that I have spent on you. But I want to urge the people of Kenya, the electioneering period is here. In less than 50 days, we are going to get another president, another governor, another senator, another member of county assembly. Please do not ask for money from these people. That's why we are stagnated. That's why we began our transformation, our development journey with the people like the peoples of Singapore or the Republic of Singapore. Until today, our country is still empty as a developing country, where Singapore is almost a first world, Dr. David Masanga. When we, the people, we, the voters, continue asking for handouts from politicians, from presidents, from governors, from senators, and including members of parliament, Dr. David Masanga, we keep setting a bad precedent that is going to permit or grow corruption in our counties and in our county assemblies and even in the Senate. We have been told before that members of parliament, when the mercury sugar saga came to the fore, we were told that they were bribed with $100, that is 10,000 Kenya shillings, each of them to pass and to pass a report and declare the sugar that was said to be contaminated with mercury to give it a clean bill of health. At the end of the day, we the people, we were the ones who are building a foundation for these leaders to continue rooting our country dry the way they have rooted it. Remember, William Ruto, when you go to his office, people are demanding for handouts. They are calling him generals. William Ruto has no alternative other than steal Aurora and Kimwarel Dam's money, billions of shillings, then come again so that he can be able to continue funding these churches, because everyone is asking for money from him. He has become an hybrid political and an economic criminal in our country to fund his own political activities, Dr. David Masanga, which is very bad.
There is one other name that has been added to William Ruto. Do you want to hear it?
Yes, Doctor.
He's called Mr. Scandal. We don't call him in those dark alleys. When you go to your kitchen, you say, Mr. Scandal again, Mr. Scandal again, Mr. Scandal. Because everybody in the scandal, Your Excellency, the former Deputy President of Republic of Kenya, because I don't think he's still there. He doesn't even receive any intelligence from the government. He's just running, having a space. You are called Mr. Scandal. You have scandals. All these managing directors were arrested by Kamata on Friday. Miriam, I'm telling you, I'm now here, I can talk the truth. Hey, can talk the truth there. You know, they are called, they cry in their bedrooms. They cry, this guy, Ruto, Sky team. Do you remember the Sky team, Douglas and Miriam? Sky team headed by Kindiki and Murkomen. They were collecting money from factories. They fly from one factory to the other to carry cash. This is UNFILTERED Africa, Kenya. This week, I return you to the headquarters in Nairobi. Miriam takes us through. Our guest arrived here. I saw your program. You said this week you had a very important guest. Yes.
Yeah, but before that, Doc, I was listening to you when you were giving us the headlines on some of the papers, and maybe something that just stuck out to me before we get into the topics that we have, since we are talking about these things anyway. The issue of Nigeria and why Atiku settled for Okowa and not Wike. And that is because I think yesterday I was reading another news item here on the Diaspora Dispatches show. The Catholic Church and also another Christian organization came out and said all these parties, especially the leading parties, PDP, APC, whoever they choose, because all of the leading candidates are Muslims, so the country will, these Christian organizations warned, the country cannot accept a Muslim to Muslim, ticket. And so they had to choose. And then when you come to Atiku, of course, Wike is a Christian, but he's the way he has expressed himself before, some Islamic organizations have looked at him as a person who hates Muslims. So there's no way Atiku is going to choose him. We know Atiku is Muslim, so that's why I think he settled for Okowa. So that could have advised the background as to why he chose to pick Okowa and not Wike, but yes.
Miriam,
yes.
Miriam, you have brought a very good point there. I wish I was on that dispatch, but I was traveling. I would have been there to tell you something very interesting. This falls back. I think to a certain extent, Museveni akona naka tik. I was condemning my comrade I don't call him president, Comrade President Museveni of Uganda, fighter, fellow fighter against Idi Amin. We did the job together. So please don't leave some of us out. If there is final eating, let's eat together. And then, so, Miriam, he has a point there. He has a point. Across Africa, colonial mentality brought us the chaos we are in today. Nigeria is a very typical example of Museveni's analysis. Colonialists. You know, in it, I have sent you the article you can see on your phone. I've sent you a small portion where the radio is now booming and saying, it is on your phone medium, that colonialists, past leaders, and the colonialists caused us the problem. In Nigeria, do you know what they did? They saw the Igbo is the biggest majority with over 120 million people. I tell you in the name of God, they avoided the Igbo. They told the Igbo go to school. And the Christian, mainly South, go to school. Then they went up and got the Fulani and the other tribes, the Fulani and a few of Yoruba. You see, if you ask Obasanjo, whether Obasanjo is a Christian or you don't know, he doesn't have another name. You don't know whether it's called Daniel Obasanjo, James Obasanjo, you don't know. So they told those ones that for you, there is a trade route, the Trans-Sahara trade route, you remember? Which we want you to protect. So what the British did in Nigeria is to train the Fulanis and other smaller tribes to join the army. And then they did the proportion of the Igbos. Very few Igbos joined the army. Igbos were told to go and write books, Chinawa Achebe, this, that, the wheat of this, the song of Lawino. That is now the song of Lawino and Achol is in Uganda. They told Northerners, please, in our country, they told the rural community, Wachana, Wachia Waganda, that Baganda people go to Makerere. I'm telling you in the name of God. If you look at a few people who from north who said why Okoti Bikitek, all those, they knew the Obotes, the Obote, the clique, the Nachon, those who decided, no, why are you tying us here? Because they wanted the northern part of Uganda, the rural community, to fight the Mahdi rebellions in Sudan, Al-Mahdi, and the groups.
But here's the thing, Doc, just from that article you've shared and from the background that you're giving on the colonialism and how it has affected Africa, how many years has Africa been independent?
66.
Yes. So, and to what point is this colonial escapism story going to stop and we realize we have our own destiny in our hands and we don't have to do things the same way those people did? We can do things differently so that we stop, because when we keep advancing this narrative, what happens is we don't take accountability and responsibility for how we get ourselves here, because we can change that. So that's where I have a problem with what Museveni says and that kind of a narrative. Enough with the colonial escapism. We've been independent for a long time. We can do things differently.
We have been independent, but independently disrupted.
We can choose to chart our own path, and we've not done that.
Look at the military coups in Nigeria, where we are talking about. Look at the military coups. How many?
Because we
the first coup in Nigeria occurred in 1965, when General Aronzi drove down and hammered, 66, and hammered the former prime minister and took over power, General Aronzi. When these colonial masters see you developing, They create an Idi Amin. Miriam, I want you are studying international relations. Go back and see. Look at the causes of our retardation. We have retarded because of that. When they see you, no wait, but I am not ignoring President Museveni. And I'm not his fan either. You know that very well. Because he refused to pay me my money.
That history is true. They did a lot of harm in the continent. We cannot wish that away. That is true. But at some point, we have to decide, come on, let's do things differently. The problem is with the governance which we have heard in this continent that has continued some of these things that colonialists left with us and have refused to do right. And the people have refused to ask for better. So, I mean...
Well, we can't ask. For example, Nigeria has had 10 military coups since independence.
But Nigeria also on Sunday celebrated 23 years of democracy. What do they have to show for that?
Nothing. That brings the question of your suggestion relevant, is now relevant, that 23 years, what have you done? You have plundered. You have corruptly taken the money.
Have they tried fixing the constitution to address the issues that are plaguing Nigeria? Have they tried, solving the conflicts that still makes this country what it is today? They have refused, and that has nothing to do with the British. It is the leadership in Nigeria. So they have to own that.
We are not saying it has all solely to do with the British, but I was trying to bring a point of Atiku and Wiki. Wiki and what is Oko?
Oko. Wiki is considered an open enemy to the Muslims, so there's no way Atiku would have picked him. So Okoa is a bit
so
of a liberal.
You see, in our Miriam, the only country in East Africa, there are 2 countries in East Africa that did not divide on religious affiliation. Can I name them for you? Kenya and Tanzania. Kenya and Tanzania, you are lucky. You are lucky, 100%. Our country, Uganda, was divided right in the middle on a religious point. For example, there has never been a Catholic president in Uganda, ever. Can I tell you the truth? All presidents who have ruled Uganda, apart from Benedict Kiwanuka, who was the first prime minister for a few days.
Idi Amin was a Muslim, right?
A Muslim. Yeah. The British would rather go for a Muslim. One of the reasons why Museveni has ruled longer is Westminster. I'm sorry to drop the bombshell. I wrote, Miriam, I will give you, please remind me by the end of this year. I will go and reprint, because they did damage on my book, Democracy in Uganda, the myth and the reality. Is it a myth or reality? I had written all these things. And the Professor Trido, who wrote Museveni's book, you remember that book, The Sowing of the Mustard Seed? Miriam, he was my professor. The man molested me. I almost jumped out of the window of that university. Almost. But I said, since I am a refugee, let me push on and get my papers. The man I wrote that book. I didn't know that Professor Twido was a great friend of Museveni. They were great friends. When I mentioned this Christianity, that it was religion that has divided Uganda, in my book, the man just said this book cannot be published. And all of a sudden, they hid the transcripts. At that time, there was, you have to use the typewriter. I was using the typewriter. It's not like you can recall now with this computer. So Miriam, you can imagine to go and look for 40,000 words again afresh. The man wanted me to fail. I had to do it day and night. Thanks God, electricity there doesn't go out. At that time, typing again on my brother, a small computer typewriter called Brother. I have kept it in my house across here in London. Please, this is very serious. The religion in our country, Miriam, divided us, the Anglicans versus the Catholics. And all these schools, we have been having them. All this suffering we have is the background is religion.
Yeah, but President Museveni blaming the poverty in Uganda for colonialists, I think that is rubbish.
Oh my God,
yeah.
That is. Yeah. Me, I'm not. Me. Thank you very much.
That's rubbish. We can blame them for other things.
My dear, it only came because of Nigeria. But you are right. Yes. You have a point.
Yeah.
We have corruption. We have a country where you are buying you are buying a limousine.
See.
A bulletproof limousine.
See.
For the speak as if there is an assassination.
In the middle of high inflation, in the middle of people dying with hunger, you're choosing to buy limousines, high end, not just limousines, but very high end. And then you want to tell us poverty is because of, come on, just stop with the nonsense.
You see, His Excellency, we campaigned together with His Excellency President Museveni. He was campaigning on UPM ticket. I was campaigning on Uganda People's Congress ticket. When he came to Mbale in 1980, people tried to disrupt his rally. And I'm now telling you frankly, I stood firm in the middle. His Excellency can remember me. We had to shoot in the air to make sure that the people who came ran back with their stones and told them to leave. My late cousin, who was the king of Bagisu, Bob Mushkori, is dead, but we are together with Mushkori. We said, no, leave people. You know, I had that democratic thing. There's something in me which was in me. And the people hated me. You know, I was summoned by the Uganda People's Congress headquarters why I protected President Museveni's rally in Mbale. Do you hear that? I was summoned very badly, reprimanded. But the campaign, his ideas of UPM were the best. Were very good ideas. If he had joined with other people, Uganda would be very, very far. Very, very far. I was there. I've seen. Now, if you blame, you still blame Idi Amin now. When Idi Amin left and God must have consumed him, if there is fire, 40 years passed, the God has consumed him. Let's not blame the 40 years. Nigeria cannot blame Aronzi. Aronzi is gone. But Nigeria should blame itself now for dismembering itself. I agree. Ours was a religious war, a divisions. The Catholic, the Protestants could not see eye to eye with the Catholics. And one of the reasons why President Museveni is ruling up to today, media, that you think the West doesn't see. The West doesn't see. It sees some of these things. But when I have letters, when I will come, I will bring them. I have letters that show media. When I wrote to the Friend and the Commonwealth Office about a single party, they told me in black and white that they are monitoring the situation in Uganda and the economic interest of the British government was paramount And therefore, they will engage the government of Uganda to find out the best way out. Full stop. I have about 12 letters in my files, how the British were answering me, the Commonwealth Office. I was an activist against a one-party state. Until later on, he managed, pressure came, he bolted out and gave us parties. But you can see what Nigerians are going in. If you are going to select a candidate, Miriam, on a religious background, surely, when shall we have democracy in Africa? I submit.
All right, and I think Douglas is there. Douglas, before you jump on to another topic, would you like to put your thoughts through on what we are talking about?
Thank you, Miriam. I believe the 40% of the people in the 40% of Christians in Nigeria feel alienated by the Muslim ticket that has been brought to the fore by Tinubu and the APC party. I also believe they also have a right to be heard because they are the voters in Nigeria. I am not a voter in Nigeria. I'm just a friend of Nigeria and a person of goodwill in the world. One thing I believe from my heart is that the over 40% who have been agitating for a Muslim Christian or Christian Muslim ticket have a reason why they are doing that. Because I believe from the onset, Dr. Masanga said that breaking the country between religious lines is not the best thing to do. But these people have already polarized their country. Nigeria is a highly religious country. People believe so much in miracles that a pastor can buy a whole industrial park and also convert it into a church to pray for jobs. Instead of the same people converting that same industrial park into another business that they can employ more people, and then they continue thanking God. But at the end of the day, it is their country and should be ruled the way they want. In Swahili, we have a saying that says that a head they shape it the way the owner wants. So the owner in Nigeria, the people of Nigeria, under their constitution, guided by their own sovereignty, believe that there are 40% of Christians are being overlooked by this Muslim ticket, and that's what's bringing problems. I believe if they really want to integrate their country and also bring their country together and also make sure that their country stays together, APC or Tinubu, they need to come together. Asiwaju Tinubu needs to come together with his own party and include the people of Nigeria, especially the 40% of Christians that feel that APC has been able to leave them out. But I also believe the other side of PDP, as a Muslim and a Christian, I think Wiki is a Christian, and that brings the unity that they are talking about. For them to be able to heal from their past, for them to be able to forge a future that they believe in, a future that talks about integration, a future that talks about that your religion is not bigger than my own, because Nigeria is one of the countries in Africa that have also been affected by these religious issues, because we were even told in 2015 that when Muhammadu Buhari comes to power, he is going to Islamize the country and turn it into a Muslim country, but Christians have no voice, and many Christians and also pastors and evangelicals took up the microphone and told people as much as they could. But at the end of the day, we need to also ask ourselves, is Nigeria ready for true integration and also taking their country forward? Because if that country, if the leaders themselves do not find the need for unity and integration of Nigeria, Nigeria is going to continue disintegrating as we know it today, Miriam. For us to be able to have a proper run and governed Nigeria, which will also contribute to a greater Sahel region, West African region, and also a greater African unity and integration, we need to pacify the issues in Nigeria and also bring these different factors together, Miriam. I believe people that are agitating for the over 40% Christian population and also asking for them to be included in their country's top leadership are not mad, Miriam. They have they have valid concerns, and those concerns should be taken into account. I truly believe that religion should not be the determining factor on how we govern our countries and how we lead our countries. But when a particular section of our people is said to be dissatisfied with your decisions as people who are making decisions or decision makers in the country, or ruling parties or parties that are about to take power, I believe, Miriam, that those concerns should be factored in because they are also Nigerians. Thank you, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much. And of course, as it is right now, the population of Muslims and Christians is almost half-half. In 2018, Christians were about 45%. Right now, they're about 49 point something percent. So they're nearly half-half. So I think all these voices are very important, and that is a factor that I think these Christian leaders are saying you can't assume that. We need representation, and I think that is just part of it. The same way Somalia has to look at its clans when it is electing and positions are being offered in the national stage. I think that is the similar way religion has to be considered when leadership is being constituted in Nigeria, as it plays a very integral part as far as inclusivity is concerned. Thank God in Kenya here religion is not really a factor, so we thank God for that. Okay, so let's start with some of the topics we've had. Of course, a few of them we've touched on. We start with the Zambian president visit to Kenya. President Hakainde Hichilema met with his host counterpart, President Uhuru Kenyatta, in Nairobi as he began his first official trip to Kenya since he took power last year in August. And according to the Zambian leader, the meeting is part of his constant search for economic opportunities for his people. On his sixth bid for the presidency, Hichilema defeated the incumbent Edgar Lungu, who was 64 years old, by almost 1 million votes in a landslide spurred by economic hardship and restricted freedoms under the previous regime. So Dr. President Hakainde Hichilema was in town.
Yes. HH was in town. A great friend, but I was not there, therefore I avoided. I will visit Zambia and go to Livingstone and relax. I can't, because if you see him here, you might not be able to see him there. So it is better to say, hello, sir, I am around the town, tell the PA. But HH brought hope. HH knows economy, knows how economics works. He's a very good man at economics. Way back when we met in London, and when you tell people, they think it is a story. But you see, when you're Africans in London, you are very small. We are a small community, so we tend to look for each other. And more so, like in 1987, we looked for each other with Zenawi, Isaias Afeki, Dr. Tedros. You know, you can see the softening of Tedros and those guys from Tigray. All of them, they don't, if you tell them Matanga, they don't say which one. They know that man. That they used to call me a small man, but now I'm huge because of the chips that we have eaten around this place. But fun, HH, his country needs a lot of injection of capital. Zambia needs injection of capital, and Kenya can do better, can inject capital and earn. Banks in Kenya can open up businesses in Zambia. That is a very good move that we have made. Instead of leaving sharks who have stolen money somewhere else to go and bank in Zambia, Zambia needs to come out and say, like he has said, the only geopolitical situation that is taking place in Southern Africa, Miriam, and when we reach that one of South Africa, which we have to touch, as we go express through our local dailies of IBC and the maze of the degree, and so on. There is something wrong going on in the southern part, in the SADC. They appear, presidents themselves are undermining each other. And I'm going to drop a bombshell here. The acceptance of the American base, you see how widely it was condemned, AFCOM. Everybody said what the Zimbabweans are not comfortable. What is AFCOM looking in Lusaka? Why did they open offices in Lusaka and not elsewhere? Why don't they open offices in Mozambique, which has a seaport? Why don't they open offices in Tanzania, which has got a port? A port of Tanga, port of Dar es Salaam, so that their ships can anchor and bring their men for relaxation. Because after you have been on the sea for a long time, the sunshine and the cold at night, you need a land to hang. Why is it that Miriam, they brought a whole AFCOM base in Lusaka? That has indeed, and I'm telling you, it has worried some of the leaders whom I have spoken to. Very scared. And that one is, if I were to meet HH, which I could not, but I will send him a note by next week, which he always reads and says, thank you very much, my brother. He's ahead, he's always ahead of. You see, apparently everybody that I have interacted with, Miriam, has gone to power. And I am the only one who is left without going there. So I'm just being a Friday and unfiltered. Can you pray for me? That maybe I can one day, please pray for me. Everybody, honestly, look at Kagame, look at Zenawi, look at Museveni, look at HH, look at Emerson, look at them, look at the president who died in Ghana. What is Atta Mills? Atta Mills is a neighbor in Croydon. A neighbor. 6 houses. We used to go to Croydon hotel gym together with Atta Mills. There is another president who, most of them, somehow we have met, we have linked in these groups in London. They have become presidents. The only one that I did not see, well, look at Mugabe. Look at Kabila the late. I used to meet Kabila in Dar es Salaam. Yes. Go, you fly in Dar es Salaam in one of the hotels called Southern Sun. It was called Southern Sun, Holiday Inn those days. Then Southern Sun bought it. You meet Kabila there sipping his kabia. And we could drink the Kilimanjaro together. Look at that. He became a president. Benazir Bhutto, the late assassinated prime minister, who was killed by Sharif Pervez Sharif. So not Sharif, but Pervez Musharraf, assassinated, killed in cold blood, and may her soul rest in peace. Mama, you are meeting the devil. He has also gone. Ask him why he killed you. You see, he has become a president. Sing Chan Sang, the one of Burma, with the husband. They came to London. When they returned there to Burma, she was arrested, put under house arrest. The husband and the son, we used to struggle, you know, community groups in London for meetings, in Africa Center, in Commonwealth Journalists Association, we used to meet. So, I am very happy that some of these leaders, some of these people like HH, has taken a lead. They are leaders in this country, in this Africa. But Miriam, you don't we have to balance. You see now the type of opposition that has been brought down in Zambia. The Chinese control the airport. They control all the things that they have built. The Americans have said, no, we are coming here, we are opening an office. You ask me why Africa always remains the same. In the first statement of Museveni, you see the reasons. That is now a power pool of the Cold War. And Zambia stood firm with the United States when the rest of Africa abstained on the vote on Ukraine. Most of the African countries abstained. 51 of them, I think, abstained. They did not vote. They ran away from the vote. So we have Zambia, as long as HH is coming here. We need Kenyan investors to go to Zambia. Banks, there is good business. There is still repatriation law that you can take out your money from Zambia. It's still, the economy is workable. The fruits, the farms. You know, people here like farming. People here like grabbing farms. You know, there's one man who grabs farms here, an expert of farm grabbing. If I were Ruto, I would not go into politics. I would just go and settle in Zambia and grow a lot of things that grow there that you can airlift every day. I want to tell you frankly, Miriam, when you go to Entebbe Airport and you see the amount of fresh fish, isamaki, tilapia, fresh fish each day from Entebbe Airport, a plane full of refrigerated fresh fish leaves for London. So imagine you had a tilapia farm and you had connections and you're delivering the fish, your money, you will not be very poor. Don't tell me that this fish only grows to rich people. Medium, this fish can be put in water. You need only to collect water somewhere. And then you start farming 2,000, 3,000, slowly. You make up the money. You start with a small pond and expand the pond. People are not thinking in Africa. They only want to borrow money from the MP. Line up at the MP's house in the morning, burial, academic, eco fundraising, eco wedding. Even when you are wedding, you are going to wed your wife. People go and ask the MP for wedding money? No, I'm sorry. I did not ask anybody for wedding money. I wedded my wife without asking any penny. Tena yangu ilikuwa quick. If I have not called you, don't mangamanga kukuja karibu hapa. Haki ya Mungu. I was very strict. Usikuje. Unakuja kufanya nini? What is it? Is it a ceremony for you? It's my ceremony. My wedding was very clear. Hii mambo ya kuleta watu wengi, watu wakule chakula. Sasa wewe umeoa bibi mpya. Miriam, niambie atakula nini? Tena mtu akuja anasema, oh David Matanga, I helped you to wed the wife. Wala, napana. Pana, I'm sorry. Yangu ilikuwa chache sana, ndio hii. Watu wachache tulimaliza kwisha. You are not supposed to come if you have not invited you. I'm sorry. Lakini hapa tunafanya sijui we shall carry another load from the other side. Role tufanye tukae chini. Africa we waste time. So the earlier the HH and the Uhuru Kenyatta sit down to form that consortium, one of the results that came out, the better, so that we can, foretell a crisis which is going to come in the future. And that crisis is going to come in the future of higher prices, which could lead to a crisis and to chaos on the streets of Africa. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Douglas. I don't know if Gladwell is there. I thought I saw her joining earlier.
She joined and went.
Okay, maybe all right. Douglas, go ahead. Maybe her connection was not good.
Douglas. Douglas, yes, we are talking about visit to, you were listening, visit to Kenya. Miriam asked, what stood out for you on that?
Miriam, the fact that the leader of the people of Zambia came to our country, and also I also believe at the end of the day, it also brings us to the question of better relations, and also how we stand in terms of how far we stand with the Republic of Zambia in terms of investment, and also foreign exchange, cultural exchange, and different kind of relationships that we need to forge with the Republic of Zambia. For example, the people of Zambia would want to come into our country and have open policy for business, and also our people in Kenya would have another open policy for business in Zambia, and this is going to enhance our relationship in terms of how we take our countries forward. Remember, it is in Zambia, a professor was giving a lecture, I think it was in Zambia, where they said that we do not need these trade barriers that we have always had for our people in Africa, because even these boundaries that we have are colonial boundaries that have been inflicted on us from, have been given to us, and also they have been allocated to us from foreign capitals, including we, the people of Kenya. When the president of Zambia comes to our country, I believe that we are going to invest more in Zambia, and also Zambians invest in our country, and also for good political standing. If a country, for example, Kenya, which the president has been reading on the same, if a country is seen to be coming, if a country is seen to be investing a lot in their friendships with other countries across the world,
Okay, all right. Are you still there, Douglas? Okay, so we seem to be having a bit of a connection problem there. So I think that topic has been exhausted. I'd like for us to take a look at a video of some falling out in Kenya Kwanza Kiambu gubernatorial race, and perhaps what this might mean for Kenya Kwanza when aspirants Kabugu and Wamatangi also, and Moses Kuria was present there, fell out over some disagreement they had during a campaign over the week.
Tunabadilisha Kiambu, wacha hiyo story yako. Mambo ndio yaweka kwa Goradia. Mimi ninakunyamazia ukaongea. Ninakunyamazia ukaongea. Nani alikwambia ndio unaongea peke yako hapa bwana? Jamaza bwana. Na tukale rekodi hera na usiniletee bwana. Usiniletee. Acha hiyo mchezo. Kwanza kabisa. Ndio kama swali ya kitu kidogo. Kama mtukutano wa kidogo. Ndio akabu nenda ngate leo. Hata nitoa hapa hapa mjaki hapo. Usiniletee bwana. Usiniletee. Acha hiyo mchezo. Unashiria wewe watoto wote. Kwanza kabisa. Tunabadilisha Kiambu, wacha hiyo story yako. Mambo ndio yaweka kwa Goradia. Mimi ninakunyamazia ukaongea. Ninakunyamazia ukaongea. Nani alikwambia ndio unaongea peke yako hapa bwana? Jamaza bwana. Na tukale rekodi hera na usiniletee bwana. Usiniletee. Acha hiyo mchezo. Kwanza kabisa. maswali ya tu kidogo. Nataka mkutano wa kidogo. Ndio kama mnaweza ngate leo. Hata nitoa hapa hapa mjaki hapo. Usimlete bwana. Usimlete. Acha hiyo mchezo.
That was a very heated moment in Kiambu a few days ago. And I think the latest is that there's a fresh storm in Ruto's camp after Moses Kuria and Kabogo pull out of Kenya Kwanza. So I don't know how we see this ending up there in Kiambu as far as that gubernatorial race is concerned. Doc.
Miriam.
Obatangi was not having it.
Omatangi is a brother-in-law of Ruto. Moses Kuria, these younger men don't listen to me. Moses Kuria, please take this step and listen to Dr. Matanga. I'm the one who helped to mentor you. That's why I've written off that debt of 1.4 million to you. Eat it. God will help you. Which I paid you to get out of that prison. But Moses Kuria, please, for goodness sake, at times weigh your politics properly. Wamatangi is a brother-in-law of Ruto. And Ruto told you he wants to sorrow the smaller parties. And he has not changed, Miriam. He has not changed from that. He's going to swallow them. Can you imagine these people of Mount Kenya, all of them, apart from Kachagwa, what agreement do they have, even in promise do they have? If Ruto was candid enough, he would have named Ichungwa, the Minister of Finance. Like Odinga has said, Oparanya is an economist. He knows about finance. He worked there. That is your post. In case now Azimio wins power, Oparanya has no, Western region has nothing to panic about. But at the moment, Mount Kenya is in, they have been promised hot air. Hot air. Hot. Ile upepo ya inachoma. There's nothing they have. They have feathers. Ruto has taken the meat. And he will give this post to his people. So why you, a leader in Mount Kenya, why do you sit there? What are you waiting for? What do you want in Kenya Kwanza? Mudavadi has secured his paperwork. You see? Mudavadi has a paperwork. Even if you say the agreement doesn't work, but at least Mudavadi can wave it, Miriam, like this. Ona, angalia. Hii ndio 70% tulipatiwa. If we deliver votes 70%, tuko na 30% ya government. But Kenya has none. Kabogo has none. I sat down with Kabogo in Kidero's Riverside apartment. I met him meeting somebody there. And when he told me he was going to join Ruto, I just drank my water. And they said, Matanga, why are you upset today? I said, go ahead. One day you will tell me, you have been my friend for a long time. We have gone to the ICC together, struggled for these people. But if you are going to tell me you are going to join Ruto, I've gone away. I called my car. He sent the girl to come and call me that, my brother Matanga needs something, we could need some money. I said, no, I don't want anything. You are my friend. Whatever little I have is enough. I'm telling you, Miriam, I left. From that day, I told Kabogo, you will cry tears. So I am happy that what I predicted as an editor has come to pass. That's all I can tell you about that. But they are going to, Kenya Kwanza will be a very empty shell by next month. But in the 2 months coming, by July, by August, August 2nd, around August there, Kenya Kwanza, these guys will vote. You know where they are going to vote? They are going to vote with the person who has convinced them. 2, the factor that is making Kenya Kwanza have, you know, mawingo, or mawingo, is it called wingo? You know, I don't know what they call them in Swahili. Mawingu means what? Storm. Am I right, Douglas? Storm. Mawingu. Yeah. If I'm right, God help me now there. Why it has a storm brewing every day, is people are not happy with the selection of Kajagwa. Kajagwa is a dictator, and then you bring Mr. the brother-in-law of Ruto, who is Wamatangi. Kabogo and Wamatangi used to work together. They used to loan each other money. Kabogo used to loan Wamatangi money. When Wamatangi used to buy cars, Wamatangi took my logbook for the car when I wanted the money to go to the ICC. That's how I knew Wamatangi. But they used to move in the same group with Okina Kabogo and others. So the situation is not very good for Kenya Kwanza. There will be storm day by in, day by out. I submit.
All right, very well. Thank you, Douglas. I'm sure that video has made rounds on social media. When you saw it, what came to mind, and what might this mean for Kenya Kwanza?
Thank you, Miriam. I believe from the bottom of my heart that people in Kenya Kwanza did not believe when the people of Kenya told them that William Ruto is out to make sure that every one of them has got a system, has gotten into the system of William Ruto finishing the people of Kenya and also making sure that they do not have a chance to elect their own leaders. When William Ruto came to Mount Kenya, when he was disparaging and besmirching the President of the Republic of Kenya, Kabogo and the rest were clapping for him. Moses Kuria was clapping for him, saying that I'm the president's MP, that I approve that the president should be insulted and all that. Moses Kuria and Kabogo have realized when it is too late, Miriam, that this man, William Ruto, is out to, number one, make sure that in Mount Kenya we do not have a powerful leader, we do not have a leader that can be able to advocate for our community, and a leader that can be able to make sure that we have a benefit of having a leader that can be able to speak for us and speak for us authoritatively. And remember, Miriam, there are things you can speak and also talk about when you are not in power. When you are not in power, anything you say, Miriam, has no effect. But anything, including an MCA, if they stick their heads on an issue, if they speak their minds on an issue, if they stick their faces on an issue, that issue is going to carry a lot of weight. And William Ruto made sure that we do not have these kind of leaders in 2017 by making sure that Kabogo was rigged out of Jubilee nominations. Kigumo MP Jamrek Kamau was rigged out of Muranga gubernatorial by-elections, nominations. And very other many people, including Peter Munya of Meru and others, have always accused the deputy president of killing their careers in politics and all that. But these people, Kabogo and Moses Kuria, were told that once bitten, twice shy, but they could not believe it. But they are also realizing it very late that William Ruto and Gachagua are dictators. They are also realizing very late that William Ruto has been using them to justify an end. They have been used as a means to an end, Miriam. I believe that the people of Mount Kenya have opened their eyes. Their leaders, the first young man in Mount Kenya and probably the Republic of Kenya to buy an helicopter, William Getau Kabogo, has been brought to nothing by William Ruto since William Ruto finished Kabogo in 2017. He has not left it to chance. he has gone ahead now to make sure that Kabogo does not win, and also make sure that he has been able to disparage everything that Kabogo has been doing in Kiambu County. The same man, Miriam, has been able to make sure that everyone has become a praise singer to his political ambitions and himself alone. And Miriam, from my heart, I believe that William Ruto he has no any good intentions for the people of Kenya and the people of Mount Kenya. Remember, Miriam, this is the same man who has now brought 2 adults, very respected people, in Mount Kenya, and especially Kiambu. I saw Kabogo shouting back at Wamatangi. Wamatangi has been known as a politician of few words, a politician of a character, a leader that would even disappear for 4 years and come back and get elected. He has now been reduced into a shouting match referee, or a person that would always go get at the sunroof of his car and also shout at each other. I believe William Ruto has done us a lot of damage that will take many years to be able to cover that damage, and maybe it's irreparable at this point, Miriam, because he has now brought a wedge between Mount Kenya leaders, young leaders, mid-level leaders, and also our Mount Kenya leader, President Uhuru Kenyatta. He has been able to do that successfully, and these people who are today in power, or an MP for Gatudu South, Moses Kuria, William Kabogo Getau, and Emmanuel Matangi, who are also coming from the president's backyard, have been reduced to nothing, Miriam. It is a caution for us as a people from Mount Kenya, as a people from across the nation and across the divide, to know the true heart of William Ruto, to know the true actions that William Ruto has been planning and also been releasing point by point, process by process, to make sure that he remains one supreme leader that can be able to dictate and move affairs without our democratic right to be able to do so. But I have a question for Kabogo and Moses Kuria.
Okay, we apologize for that, a bit of a technical hitch.
You not democratically chosen to receive, has been able to destroy of President Uhuru Kenyatta and your own legacy as leaders, because in your own
Okay, we sort of lost you there for a couple of seconds, but I think the message is home, and we will just move on to the next topic. That was not the only spat that was witnessed. There was also another spat in Kakamega between Boni Halwale and Senator Malala.
Yinta Halwale, Dimwana Muluya Hurlak Kamega, Malala Hurlak Kamega, Fernandez Baraza Hurlak Kamega, Ubosi Hukaba Buami, Mweuri Muhuti, Mundu Mulai, Abe Obama Office, Amurindi, Mimi Halwale. I am the best performing legislator in the history of Kenya. Muriam Nonya Sayamrin. Huyu anasema nini sasa huyu? Hapa kura ni kwa Cleo, si ndio? Wangapi wanasema Cleo Malala? Aache kuchanganyikiwa, si ndio? Hapa mtasimama na mimi. Anachanganyikiwa, si ndio? Hapa ni kwangu. Hii ni bedroom yangu. Kama nakula pande mbili aseme bwana. Hapa mimi ni kwangu, si ndio? Wapi wanasema Cleo Malala tuone? Nataka nikisema Cleo unasema governor. Nikisema governor unasema Cleo. Cleo! Governor! Matungu mnasemaje? Cleo! Governor!
Malala must go! 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 tunaamua tunataka
Okay, some of the scenes that Kenyans are being treated to by the political class. It appears the consensus between Halwale and Malala might not have been very consensual. I don't know, from what we're seeing playing out there, and how Malala came out to correct Boni Halwale when Boni Halwale was saying he was the best performing, I think it was senator or something, I didn't get that part, and Malala was quick to point that out in what many Kenyans thought he was being a bit disrespectful to Halwale, saying that, you know, even when you look at the age, there's a huge difference there. But I don't know, what are your thoughts, Doc?
You see, the politics of Western is the same as the politics of Mount Kenya. They promised a lot to Ruto, but they have found roadblocks on the way. For example, for Harare to win the senatorial ticket, he needs Baraza. He needs Mr. Baraza vote of Oparanya. He can't win without Oparanya's vote. Two, Harare has got a very big grudge, even if he accepted to leave Malala to be the leader, to be the gubernatorial slot. He's not happy. Harare has been fighting for this for a long time, Miriam. And for you to come up and just say you are not happy with the, so you will not be on the ballot, it's very, very disheartening. Very, very disheartening. So if you put that politics of the Western, and then put the politics, where is Ruto's vote? Where is it? He can't garner the vote. The one of Kakamega, the people who will be leading Kakamega will be Harwale and Baraza. Baraza will be the governor and Harwale will be the senator. That's the combination. Let me also use the shade. A combination. That's the combination. Let me go back to my traditional English. That's the combination of votes that will bring about a victory for Azimio. And the vote, at the end of the day, when you elect Baraza, you are electing Raila Amolo Odinga. So Raila Amolo Odinga will get that Kakamega vote, will get Vihiga vote, will get Busia vote, will get Trans Nzoia vote. He might not get the Bungoma vote unless we work on Speaker Lusaka. You notice that I have not attacked too much the Bungoma people. And I don't know why you are smiling, but you know that they are my relatives. Almost everybody in Bungoma is from my place. They have roots. Most of them have roots from my place. And then part of Trans Nzoia. So you notice I come from the ruling clan of Bob, the late Umukuka. So you can't attack your own children who have gone far away. So I've kept off. Mostly. I have not been very, very dangerous. If I had to attack Lusaka, I think things would be very bad. But I've left Bungoma politics to them, to juggle out and find out. So for me, the rivalry in Kakamega is similar to that of Kaboko and Kajakwa, Ligafi, and others in Mount Kenya. But the best thing for Mudavadi, as these things play out, Mudavadi is not equally happy that Ruto went and imposed, Malala changed it. Malala took Ruto. Malala took Mudavadi to Ruto. Then Malala ran away from Mudavadi and joined Nani's party. So that's why you see Mudavadi is not even playing a part. Mudavadi would rather, Mudavadi and Baraza are friends, great friends. So Mudavadi is very, 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 very happy to see that Kakamega goes in the hands of Baraza. That's the analysis I have, and it would be better than that anyway. That's my position.
All right. I see Douglas has just rejoined. Douglas, what do you have to make of this spat that you see play out now in Kakamega between Boni Halwale and Senator Malala?
Thank you, Miriam. Boni Halwale has also realized that he was sprayed by William Ruto when they told him that they are going to fund his senatorial bid to the Rusty coin. And they have now realized who William Ruto is, Miriam. And I've always said that as leaders, we cannot be able to let our country go to dogs because someone has some small monies that he can be able to give to you. William Ruto has been able to destroy the morals of our leaders, has been able to take advantage of the greed of our leaders in this country. And like I said, the African voter is a cartel. And if that African voter is a cartel, even leaders now have turned into cartels. Boni Halwale, Dr. Boni Halwale, a medical doctor, has now realized that a man who has always claimed to have the best interest of Boni Halwale and Creo Malala and others is not doing the right thing. So there is a lot of disquiet in Kenya Kwanza teams. Remember, it is the same thing that is happening all over. In Mount Kenya, different counties are suffering. Over 11 counties in Mount Kenya. That thing is playing even down to the world level. People are disparaging each other. People are destroying each other's career. And this is not the right note for them. This is not the right tone for them. This is not where we want our country to go. We need, Miriam, to be able to let each other know the truth as the people of Kenya, people who love this country, people who are patriotic to our country. We need to be able to let William Ruto know that you can only buy people for some time, you can only cheat people for some time, and even lie for some time. You can't be doing all those things all the time. A time has come for Boni Halwale and other leaders to take their true positions and reclaim their own freedom as leaders, and also reclaim their people from that mentality that has been sold to them by William Ruto, the leader of UDA, who has actually made sure that after they joined Kenya Kwanza, that there is nothing like Kenya Kwanza. It is just written on a piece of paper that he has been campaigning for UDA candidate. We saw Musalia Mudavadi antagonizing UDA brigade in Mururu village, asking his fellow villagers, are you going to elect my own MCA to be on UDA ticket? And you can see they are not even campaigning for my ANC people. Please give me ANC candidates or leaders that I can be able to work with. Even though he himself knows that without ANC candidates, he is going nowhere. And William Ruto is not hiding his head for Kenya Kwanza people, who he has also told that they can go to hell. He is going to campaign for UDA candidates because he also wants to control some majority, even as he goes into opposition in August, Miriam. But I want to be very candid on the issue of William Ruto and the way he has been able to mistreat our leaders. And that, in essence, these other people, also these other leaders would go ahead and also become very, 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 very insultive and also become very vulgar with each other. These are leaders who are respected in the communities, who have lost legitimacy with the people of Kenya, and even their own constituents and electorates. They have lost legitimacy. They can only reclaim that legitimacy by distancing themselves from William Ruto. Please, one day anger cannot kill a man. Leave William Ruto for a better Kiambu County, for a better Kakamega County, or from wherever you're coming from, constituency and the world, wherever you're coming from, distance yourself from William Ruto and reclaim your legitimacy as a leader, reclaim your personal glory and freedom. Thank you, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much. And on the latest, on what appears to be the gift that keeps on giving, and that is the Sakaja decree. So let's bring our viewers up to date with what is really happening here. On page 12 of the Daily Nation, Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja was last night facing arrest after the Directorate of Criminal Investigations said that he was a suspect in an international criminal syndicate, even as his fake decree saga drew in Uganda authorities. DCI boss George Kinoti last evening said Mr. Sakaja and officials of Team University in Uganda were the United Democratic Alliance UDA candidate for the Nairobi gubernatorial race claims to have acquired a degree as suspects in the international organized crimes syndicate. We will not surrender our capital to frauds. We will involve all the international agencies in investigating and prosecuting anyone involved in academic fraud, said Mr. Kinoti. He told the nation that the dramatic escalation of a row over Mr. Sakaja's eligibility to vie for the Nairobi governorship apparently followed the intervention of Ugandan Education Minister Janet Museveni, who reportedly sent government officials to seek evidence of Mr. Sakaja's time at the institution. The officials, Nation understands, demanded evidence of Mr. Sakaja's admission letter, date of admission, proof of payment of tuition fees, and proof of coursework done. Like, those are just the basics, right? To prove. So Mr. Sakaja faces a 3-year jail term if a court finds that he forged his academic degree certificate and transcripts. And yesterday, the matter took yet another twist after a voter questioned the authenticity of the High Court orders that suspended revocation of his degree certificate. Mr. Dennis Gaku, through his lawyer, Ms. Njoki Mboche, has claimed that the court orders are questionable because they were issued by a judge who is away on official duties. Okay. Now, Ms. Mboche wants a confirmation that Justice Jairus Nga actually attended to Mr. Sakaja's case. She has also asked for a confirmation that the judge issued the interim orders against the decision of CUE, that is the Commission of University Education, to revoke Mr. Sakaja's degree certificate acquired from Team University. Okay, I'll not read the whole of the story, but I think what captured my attention is what Mr. Kinoti said, the DCI boss, what he said. We will not surrender our capital city to frauds. We will involve all the international agencies in investigating and prosecuting anyone involved in academic fraud. He seems to have assumed what others would see as a political undertone when you say we will not, of course, Sakaja is found guilty, that will be fraudulent, but him saying we will not surrender our city, I mean, that is political, Doc.
Miriam, Sakaja is my son. He knows in his heart is my son. So what I've done, and I want to tell you, my sister, and let Sakaja pick this clip and I know. I'm not going to say what I want to say. Except, you are looking at me, what can I say? Except
Janet Museveni is involved, you know. Yes. This is not a joke. The Minister of Education in Uganda. So this is no child's play now.
I'm coming. I'm coming. But let me lay my groundwork on Sakaja. I will not make any comment on these matters. But I just want to advise my son, when you are in a hole, don't dig further. You are already in a hole, don't dig further. That's point number 1. 2, just like I and Atoli, we have agreed. We have nothing to say about whatever is taking place. Because Angel Gabriel will know, we know what we know. So I leave it on that one. On the question of Mr. Kinoti role is to safeguard the city. Miriam is not political at all. He cannot allow thieves to come in the city.
That is.
He cannot allow the fraudulent guys to arrive and take their city. And Kinoti is right. He's right. There are people in the city now who have taken over the city, who even wait for people in their compounds and kill them. And it starts with wash. The Minister of Internal Security has told us that 40% of the people who are going to be on the ballot are wash. Isn't it? What else do we need to know? My dear senior brother, younger friend, Kinoti is correct. He cannot allow people to take his seat. You cannot allow Sakaja, excuse me. If you have been accused of no papers, go back and read.
And now there's a new twist, Doc. The doc, apparently, a petitioner has gone to contest this court order. Now they're saying this is questionable because the judge who apparently issued this is not even in office right now. They are on break, they're away. So how did he issue this and when did he listen to this case?
Is it Murima?
No, he's called, let me just get the name, Justice Jairus Nga.
You see now? Was he working from home?
Let me just read that. They claim that the court orders are questionable because they were issued by a judge who is away on official duties. He's away. He's not even in the country, apparently.
So when he's away, he doesn't carry the office?
No, when did he listen to this? You're supposed to...
when
did he listen to this case?
Did he do an expertise?
He's away on other duties, so he's not supposed to be listening to this case. There are other judges who could have. But
Then there you are.
What the petitioners are saying.
It opens the bad belly of the judiciary.
That's the
now, whichever side the thing comes, because I've avoided talking about Sakaja and his problem. And I've just said Sakaja is my son. So he better knows why I call him my son. So that is all I can say. I and Atwoli, we have said we shall not make any comment beyond that. But my advice is, if you are in a hole, don't dig further. Because the more you dig further, the more problem you could find water that can drown you. So whichever way this thing goes, the Nairobi saga is a problem. But as much as we want the problem, we heap it on this mess. The mess also, Miriam, should go to these institutions that first
Commission
one,
on University Education, yeah.
Yes, that one bring this mess. These institutions should have refused Sakaja's degrees all at once. There would be no mess today. But they allowed the degree to go and use it, be used. Now they have brought a mess. Point number 3. The country Uganda being brought in, Madam Janet Museveni is a Minister of Education. And these matters coming from outside must go through Foreign Affairs, then drop on her desk. So me, I'm not going to be, I'm not going, sorry, I'm not going to be against Janet.
She's
because
just
she was acting.
She's just doing her job.
She was acting. Madam First Lady of Uganda was acting in her capacity as a Minister of Education
And
to seek verification from the university. It's like Professor George Magoha will do the same. Will ask the police to go and find out all the ministry officials. So there is don't bring in Janet Museveni, don't bring in Her Excellency, the First Lady of Uganda, into bad light. She did nothing wrong.
Yeah, and she's just doing her job, Doc, as the minister.
She did her job.
But now that this matter is it's a spotlight and she's dealing with it now, that means even these officials at Team University, they have to come out clearly, because what her office is demanding.
That's why now the matter, you are right, Miriam, that's why the matter becomes transnational.
Now it's no joke. This is...
Yes, transnational crime. I saw another lawyer this morning on KTN called Dr. Ojwang. You know, when you are bribed some little man and a handout, you don't reason very well. When you used to reason very well. Ojwang is saying it is not a crime. You can't go and forge papers in DRC Congo and bring a container. It arrives in Mombasa and they don't check it. That is a transnational crime.
And I think the things that the CS, the Minister of Education there, Janet Museveni, asked from the institution to provide, they asked for Sakaja's admission letter, date of admission, proof of payment of tuition fees, and proof of coursework done. I think those are just basic things. I don't think she asked for anything out of order.
Well done, Madam. Well done, Your Excellency.
You can present all of those things. I do have my payment receipts. Whether it's through a purse or through a physical
look
payment.
Here. I have a payment
all
slip.
Of them, and my coursework and my transcript. So that shouldn't be a problem.
I have kept my payment, everything. They go, the coffee and kila kitu.
Including your admission letter.
That time, my goal, let me tell you, Miriam, that over, I have, you know, it was small. By then I was a small, handsome man. Now I've kept it. Now I need to take it back, exchange with big size. I was size number 3.
You don't keep gowns. You pay for them, you use them, and then you return them. You kept yours?
No, we pay. You can pay. In Britain, there are 2 options.
I've never had. You just you borrow.
No, please don't say you have never had.
I've never heard of that.
You have never had in Kenya.
Anywhere in the world.
Maybe in Kenya.
Yes.
But in Britain, they give you 2 options. You want to buy it cash, you give them a credit card, they will give you everything, you go with it. Or you want to hire it for 3 days. You can hire it, because depending on your level of student, if you are earning money, you can hire. If you are earning money, you can buy. But if you don't have money, you can't buy it. The gown now is about 500 pounds, the whole of it. But it is, do you know why, Miriam? It is not every shop. That's the point. It is not every shop in the UK. You can't, Kenya you can, even in Kenya now, some of the people exchanging these gowns can sell it to you as yours if you have the money. But I don't know about Kenya. I can't talk about it because I've never graduated in Kenya. But in the UK, you buy and keep it if you have the money. If you don't have the money, you rent it. But at that time, the rent was 112 pounds for a week. 112 pounds for a week. You have it in a week. You take photographs with your friends. You go to the pub where you used to have 1-1 with your chikoya before you leave. You know, those type of things. And I remember, about 112 pounds for a week. Then they return it.
Yes.
Then
they have
you also do a deposit. People used to steal them. So you deposit the equivalent of 112. In case it gets lost, they don't care.
Yeah, the gown, the hood, or the cap.
Yeah, but if you want your money, the gown, the cap, and the scarf,
The hood.
Depending on your focality.
It's called
Your focal.
It's called the hood.
The what?
It's the gown, the hood, and
the hood, the hood, the scarf, the hood, and your faculty. You can politics. That is politics has a different color. Law has got a different color.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So law and politics is red. Red here, hood, you know, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of what is it?
They all, even here, I think every faculty has a different color of the hood.
Faculty of Humanities. Yes. Humanities, biology, doctors. We went in the categories. And there is nothing, it is very smooth. It's very smooth. But now, when Janet is doing her job, is doing her job, and there is no corruption there, unless corruption has been brought in by the people who want the certificate. So the Ugandan, since it has blown up in Kenya in a highway, the Ugandan authorities are going not to lie low. They also want to find out.
Because this is messing up even the name of that institution, and it's messing up the good name of the Ugandan education. So this is something that the country must look at seriously.
It is called St. Lawrence.
No, we jump from St. Lawrence. It's now TIM. Initially it was St. Lawrence, now it's TIM University. So they
but
have
TIM University just began in 2020.
No, 2020 is when they were given the accreditation to do distance learning. But
yes.
Sakaja graduated with the learned through distance learning before they were even accredited that. So if that is true, then they also went against the laws of education in Uganda. So they are in trouble.
No,
so
there was no longer distance. And
yes.
you see, TIM University
it gets better.
TIM University is connected to University of Warwick in London. I'm telling you. It's linked to one of, yes, Warwick University, yes. So the courses there are the courses done. You know, they don't have their own, all these people, the universities you see, like the ones online. Even the London School of Economics is online. If you want to do your master's degree or your PhD or your undergraduate, you just apply. They will tell you in London, if you are from UK, your student number. If you are from Kenya, the copy, certified copy of your degree. Now, when the degree arrives there, there is an education attaché in the Kenyan embassy, okay, who now liaises with those queries and sends back these papers to the Ministry of Education in Kenya, who will verify, and that's it. But when you are in London, you don't need all that. You need only your student number, and it is punched in. You want this course, which course? Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of the other one, Science and what? There is another Bachelor of Arts. You want a Bachelor of Arts degree in International Relations, a Master's degree in International Relations. There are two types. Fast track, 1 year, or 2 years, normal. Then they will give you, they say this is available, you want it online. You can do it online. I've been doing online Roehampton University. Roehampton in Wandsworth, Putney. I've been doing online. I did strategic management online during COVID. I went down, I stopped, everybody stopped. Then last year started again. A lot of money for another master's degree. You can do strategic management so that you can become the Secretary General of African Union. When you have another degree in your hands, that's very correct. But I don't know where the problem is. Janet Museveni cannot be involved. She's not involved. That even if you hate Museveni surely to that level, you cannot involve her, the wife, for having been part of the degree. She's the Minister of Education of Uganda. She has a right to find out who in the ministry is forging these documents. So Kenyans should not hate her for nothing. Please, don't hate Madam. At least watch moja. Even if we hate the other one, let's not hate everybody. Hey, no. There I will stand with Madam Janet Museveni. She's a minister. I know Douglas is not happy, but that is my I cannot, she's like my mom. Yeah, so I cannot, she has not been very bad. No, honestly. You cannot hate everybody. No. Me, I give a credit where it is due me. I'm sorry, but that is what Matanga is. If people hate me, if the fellow opposition leader hate me because I've said Janet Museveni has done nothing and she is right, or they hate me because I say Museveni is right, there are certain things that President Museveni is right. And I will say them. One of them, the first one, if you ask me, before you shoot me on the firing squad, Museveni is very right to send the troops to Somalia. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Then shoot me now. If you ask me about democracy, he said no, he doesn't know it. Then shoot me now. But I cannot blanket it and say he's very bad. No. It can't be very bad when he is, of course, there are certain things that are very bad. They are there, surely, on corruption. There is something very bad there. Because you can't have 40 million shillings arriving on the bank of an MP. You don't know who planted it there. 40 million times 593 MPs. How much is it? Isn't it 2-point-something billion shillings? Almost 3 billion shillings. Who is banking this money? A ghost arrived from heaven and delivered the money on account of Ugandan MPs. Allah, bring us to that topic.
Okay. I'd like to hear Douglas's thoughts.
Mambo ya Sakaja, Mimi, Sakaja is my son. Douglas, please. Spare my son. Spare my son. Let them hammer him elsewhere. But for me, I know what God has told me. Keep off this issue of Sakaja. Because if I open up my mouth, Douglas, you are laughing, but it's a very serious matter.
Douglas, what do you make of these new developments?
Miriam, I give out my mind on that, but I also believe that Sakaja is also opening a lot of a can of worms. He should be able to stop digging the hole, like Dr. Masanga said. And for Sakaja, I wish him the very best, because he's opening too much on his reputation and also too much on the closet. A lot of things are not right, Miriam, over this whole issue. If Sakaja was magnanimous enough on himself, if he loves himself, he would have kept quiet and actually gone home. Miriam, there's no sin in having not gotten a degree in this country. There is no sin. The only problem is that now the constitution says you should have a degree for you to run as governor. And he can come again in future. He's a brilliant guy. And Miriam, we have not much on that. And remember, the greater population of this country have no degrees or secondary or tertiary education in this country. So for Sakaja, he should not be making a lot of noise. But Miriam, I have an issue. Going to touches on Sakaja. I have had the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya comment on the very issue of Sakaja's credentials. He has said that Sakaja has a valid degree. Now, we all know that the direction that it has taken, the shift that it has taken, is not a nice one. It is not a nice one. If Sakaja had a degree, I know the first person to defend him would be Dr. David Matanga. But Dr. David Matanga has also opted out of the whole issue because he can see a lot of problems. There are a lot of loopholes in the whole matter. So this is bringing too much trouble for William Ruto, who has also gone ahead and awarded not Dr. Matanga. He has gone ahead and given a degree to Sakaja. He has said Sakaja has a valid degree. Is going to be on the ballot. What if the officials from the Ministry of Education in Uganda, led by Mama Janet Kata Museveni, prove that Sakaja did not go to school in that institution? And Sakaja today, if actually he woke up one day, he would have raised a lot of speculations, but if he woke up one day and saw that this thing is going to run out of proportion and withdrew from the race, he would have kept his reputation, his brilliance and all that. And people are also calling his brilliant mind announced now. And I believe William Ruto is contributing to these issues. He is taking this guy to the grave, while knowing very well that whatever his public pronouncement is making, they continue angering the people involved. They continue ruining the reputation of Team University that probably, in quote, secretly and politely and honestly sold a degree to Sakaja to run as governor. Now, at the end of the day, William Ruto's involvement in this issue, Miriam, is making everyone mock Team University, mock the Republic of Uganda, mock the intelligence of Kenyans, mock the intelligence of one Johnson, other Sakaja. It is becoming too complicated for Sakaja now that the second in command in the Republic of Kenya takes on a sunroof of a public vehicle that is funded by our taxpayers and says that Johnson Sakaja has a valid degree. Miriam, I do not agree with William Ruto. I do not agree. William Ruto is not the Commission for Higher Education. William Ruto is not the Team University. William Ruto is not, and he cannot purport to be speaking for Team University or speaking for the Ministry of Education in Uganda, or speaking, Miriam, for and on behalf of Johnson Sakaja. If I went to school, I went to school. If you didn't go to school, you didn't go to school. And that is it, Miriam. William Ruto has complicated issues for Sakaja.
Ama mtani Triple S Super Senator Sakaja.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Sakaja, by even he has committed in the past, Miriam. It has opened a can of worms for Sakaja, and I believe William Ruto is a bad omen for Johnson, other Sakaja. Sakaja should have gone home slowly and with dignity, Miriam. He has been stripped of his dignity, and I don't believe that William Ruto is helping the matter by continuing a stand on the same, saying that Sakaja has a valid degree. And whereas Sakaja knows the truth, God knows the truth, Janet Museveni knows the truth, Team University knows the truth. William Ruto should desist from claiming that Johnson Sakaja has a valid university degree, Miriam, because it is complicating issues for Sakaja. People who have had an issue with the Sakaja now are going to come out, Miriam, and they bring a lot of fraud issues and bring a lot of problems to that young man, Miriam. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think we will let that matter rest for right now, and we move on to other issues. And I think there's one that we already started with, that of Uganda, and of course Parliament's decision to procure 2 luxurious high-end cars for Speaker Anita Among and her deputy Thomas Kayebwa at a cost of about 2.4 billion Ugandan shillings. That is equivalent to about £520,000. has sparked resentment from a cross-section of the public, with some describing the deal as extravagant expenditure. And also the money that Doc has talked about, I think I do have that story. Let me see if I can get it. The money that was deposited in the accounts of members of parliament in Uganda. Lawmakers from the opposition National Unity Platform yesterday met and agreed to keep the 40 million Ugandan shillings handshake. The MPs received the money on Saturday night in what was called a token of appreciation after passing the supplementary budget of 618 billion Ugandan shillings. So I think this was given to all members of parliament, and the NUP met and agreed they will accept that, a token of handshake.
Miriam, why are you putting me on the spot? It is you yourself. Me, you are putting me on what can I told you? 40 million, it landed from Angel Gabriel. Inaanguka, woo. They woke up in the morning and everybody was 40 million. That's a house, a local house in the village. Cash. So some MP said, where did it come from? Nobody. The parliament is saying, we never sent any money. So who gave the accounts of the MPs for everybody to know the account of the MP? Did somebody hack the payments in the parliament, salaries, then he dumped the money? Those are the puzzling questions of our Uganda today. Remember, there was this coffee deal that went sour, and the MPs had actually decided to block every money going for expenditure. The biggest problem that Africa has is you make a budget, then you come for mini budget, what they call supplementary medium. It is through this supplementary that the money in Africa gets lost. Quickly, it does happen in most of the places in Africa. So for me, on that one, I have defended the question of the certificate. Uganda government, the deputy president, the president's wife is just doing her job. We should not condemn her. On the corruption, I can't stand with anything that is corruptly taking away money from an ordinary person. Thank you.
So the 40 million, that translates to about 1.2 plus some change there, Kenyan shillings. So
yes, 1.2 Kenyan shillings, yes, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, considering especially the state of so many of our countries like right now.
You are saying 1.2, it is 12 million Kenyan shillings. Divide, and you see, 12 million. You are laughing at me. You know I failed mathematics. Please don't do that.
Yeah, because Google just translated, so I don't know how to argue with Google, but that is what Google has.
Well, let's do practical.
1,261,477 Kenya shillings, 0.76.
The exchange rate is 30,000. 30. It's 40 million divided by 30. You'll get the answer.
It's 1.2.
You can go ahead while I am doing this calculation.
Okay. So
but I trust you. Before you go further, there is some breaking news. I don't know whether you have seen it. No, it is not breaking at all. Azimio is in Fika. in Fika having a meeting there. So that is it. But there is nothing wrong. The calculation should have come. Why is my calculator being very annoying?
In the meantime, Douglas, give us your thoughts on this handshake that is happening through the money there. Sort of a check shake, a handshake or something. In Uganda, it's corruption.
Douglas is not there.
Okay, so I guess we just move on to the next story now. And are we going to...
You are right, it's 1.1, it's almost 1.3.
Okay. Yeah.
Douglas said no comment.
Okay, we'll move on for the interest of time to the South African story. The latest graft scandal surrounding President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, started early this month when a former intelligence director, Arthur Fraser, opened a complaint against the president. In his leaked affidavit to the police, Fraser alleges that on February 9th, 2020, robbers targeted Ramaphosa's game farm in the northern Limpopo province, where they found $4 million in foreign currency hidden inside furniture. The criminals were apprehended and the money recovered from them, the affidavit says, but the men were then paid to buy their silence. Fraser accuses Ramaphosa of money laundering, kidnapping and corruption, but the president has come out saying his hands are clean and that those funds are private and not public. And if that is true, then why did they have to pay these criminals for their silence? I guess that is the big question people want to know.
Douglas, why are you running away from the truth? You are saying again you have no.
I have a comment on that now.
Okay.
Oh, you have. I thought you were running away. Don't run away. Me, I tell the truth on Uganda, man. So, but let me now on this one. Let me tell you. Mistakes at times come in a wrong way. Why would the president of an African country who knows banking, who has gone to school, put money in sofa set? That's one. But let's look at a wider aspect. There is something wrong going on in that region. And I've been saying it, Medium, I said it in 2016, 17, 18. I was with you. I used to tell you, regime change by external forces will force out several African countries. South Africa, and especially the ruling party, I think you remember I said revolutionary ruling parties in Africa must be very careful. And I'm telling you frankly, if you trace the problem of Ramaphosa, it's a setup. And it is a setup from one president to another and another country doing some espionage in South Africa. Can any of you tell me one of the presidents, one of the former presidents who is in exile, who has been given political asylum in South Africa? Who? Miriam, you know that. The president of some African president has been given political asylum in South Africa. That's where, if you want to trace all this, what is happening to Ramaphosa, spring from there. Come from there. And when you look at places, the whole region, two countries seem to be infiltrated by Open Society Foundation and the George Soros operations of regime change. The bases of this Open Society Foundation are found in Malawi and Zambia, and to some extent South Africa. So there is a very big rivalry in that country. The old ANC and the new ANC, the middle ANC. So what the white supremacists of George Soros and other groups have done is to equip the middle ANC to topple the old ANC. Are you now with me? That's it. And it is going to go down. Mr. Ramaphosa is the last beacon of the Mandela clique of leadership. Remember, Ramaphosa was a PA. The rivalry between Ramaphosa, Zuma, Mbeki, and the others, Montashe, and all those is huge. People wanted Ramaphosa to jump into, when Mandela did one term, until Mandela turned around and said, no, Ramaphosa can come back later. Let's go for Mbeki. Elect Zuma's wife, the one Mandela, Winnie, to be charged with murder cases. In a struggle where she struggled for the husband, she was detained, she was beaten up, they sidelined her. But during Zuma's reign, you remember Mama Winnie Mandela bounced back and she became known. She was active in ANC delegates conferences and other institutions and places. They gave her the power back, but Mr. Mbeki lying on Mandela's side and demonized Winnie. So when you look at the factions that are playing now, there's a faction of the younger generation, the younger thugs, who are not happy, who are saying, hello, we can win majority here. We always win majority. ANC will win elections in South Africa, whether you like or not, because it has an ideology. And because South Africa has been made, Miriam, a party, a country with proportional representation method system of governance. You can't have violence out of elections. ANC will continue winning. But now the question is, if we go back, you are the president of a country, you are banking money in sofa set. What the hell is this? Who betrayed him? There must be an external intelligence network that wanted to embarrass embarrass Ramaphosa, in order for ANC, the middle class ANC, to go for Zuma, for Ramaphosa's head, which they are doing right now. You see that. They want him out. He has come out to say, I am not the owner, that is private money. But now, if you are telling, it is like a Johnson, you tell people that wear masks, but then you don't wear a mask, you go to inside your house and start drinking naked, or not naked, sorry, drinking without mask. You have violated the same integrity. Personal integrity is gone. Ramaphosa needs serious public relations stance, risk analysis analyst who can bring him top of the gear. Then you can understand, because the external forces that are involved in Ramaphosa's witch hunt can only be silenced by high external exposure of that network. A hand has come from outside to help. How they planted these thieves, robbers, and then they cited it. The intelligence officer claims. So all these claims are coming today from 2020, surely. Why?
And Zuma has not denied any of that. The only thing he's saying, that money, fine, it was found. It's only that it's private money, it's not public funds. That is the only place of departure. But he does agree this money was hidden in furniture. 4 million US dollars.
But people are saying you lose now personal integrity.
Why are you hiding 4 million US dollars in furniture? What is wrong with your bank account?
And then you are telling people to go to the bank.
And then the people who found this money were given some money to silence them. Why did that happen? What are you hiding? So the person who took this matter to court is accusing Ramaphosa of money laundering, kidnapping and corruption. So the burden of proof is on Ramaphosa, and there's no way, I don't know if he hires public relations, I don't know the politics of South Africa, how they play out. I don't know if he'll be able to get himself out of this. I think it is his word against what this person is saying, and the burden of proof is on him.
There are ways which we can't discuss here, but it's okay. There are some ways. He is not playing it. He is allowing it to go on like a Sakaja. You are in a hole and you dig and dig again. He's a president at the moment, so why is he allowing this to even be in the newspapers? First silence the newspapers.
You do understand South African democracy. That will be difficult to do.
No.
Yeah.
You have $4 million hidden in a box.
They removed.
Wait, Madam, you have $4 million hidden in a box. Douglas Kirimim and Miriam, I went after the Labour Party attachment as an intern, I went to work with Max Clifford, and he told me two things. He says, the best client, if you are doing a PR, is the most hardest client that you can ever defend. It is possible. How can I say it is possible? You have $4 million. You mean you can kill the story? Why is he not killing the story?
And you know, also Namibian president is involved in this scandal.
Yes.
Hage.
But I've told you there are presidents around that region why am I hiding something from you? I'm keeping quiet, but I'll tell you offline. That's why I'm telling you, a PR man who has done international relations like Matanga, that story is very interesting. Send me that portion of the Namibian president. Can you send it? You've seen it? Ma'am, send it to me. You know how to, what is it, screenshot. Send it to me. There are two presidents around that region who are involved in Ramaphosa's bringing down ANC. It's very interesting.
It is, because these 5 robbery suspects are said to have been tortured into confession and paid to buy their silence. And I think they ran to Namibia, and Mr. Geingob, that is the president of Namibia, had since denied allegations of illegally detaining, torturing into confession and extraditing to South Africa the suspect who had fled to Namibia. So these people had fled to Namibia. And
so who told the president of Namibia to torture them?
Well, so that's why now both of them are being accused. By whose orders?
You see, send me that one on my, please.
So the person who's actually this Frazier guy, he's the former head of South Africa's state security agency. So he's not just your ordinary citizen. He is an expert in matters security. So
yes, but he's paid by someone. Why didn't he say it when it was formally? He was formally.
And he's saying the sale of this money seems to be a sale, money proceeds from sale of animals. So I don't know what animals because this money was found in Ramaphosa's game farm.
Yeah, animals. Ramaphosa has got a very big
game farm.
A very big farm, a big farm that has animals. Yeah, for beef, beef and actually mainly beef exported to countries around Africa. Yes, yes. Why is it that they fled to Namibia? Why should the Namibian president be the one to torture them to confess? Allah. Allah.
There's more to this story. And of course,
you have sent it to me.
No, I will. I will.
Please, please. And then I will. You see, Ramaphosa has to act fast to save the situation. Who is Frazier? Who was he? If you look at the sequence, a former state intelligence network operative who is not there anymore, who left, why did he leave? Then report what wrong has Ramaphosa done, an external force. There's somebody paying him to do it. And this man also is saying it from now, not in South Africa, but in another country in the Southern Africa. Have you seen that? Douglas, you can come in now.
Thank you, Doctor. I believe in South Africa that also corruption is fighting back inside their own country, because this other Fraser guy is said to be a royalist of Zuma, and he's the same guy who gave Zuma a medical parole when he was in prison as the end of correctional services. And I think it is also a point of stifling Ramaphosa's fight against corruption, who rode to power on an anti-corruption platform. I believe and also agree with you, Dr. Masanga, there is an external force that is trying to bring down the credentials, the anti-corruption credentials of Ramaphosa, maybe kick him out of office like the way friend to other Fraser was kicked out of office, Jacob Zuma, and maybe taint his name and his image. I also believe that when President Ramaphosa says that the incident was reported to the police and accepts that that money was in his house and all that, I believe that there's some honesty from his part. I believe that at the end of the day, they need to get into the root of the matter. They should not get into the media friends and the parliamentary language that I saw in South Africa. People who have been hating on Ramaphosa or people who would want him to be kicked out have been very, very, very vocal in parliament. Last week he was shouted down about 2 times. And people are saying that he should step down, and investigations opened, and he's facing a jail term or maybe jail charges. And we need to also ask ourselves why at this time. This man says that this incident happened in 2021 and 2020 February, and What took him all that time? He's no longer working for the state agency, he's no longer working for government probably. And why did he aid this information from the public or from the police? Why would he just wake up one morning and just walk into a police station and start making a complaint? We need to also know why he has been hiding the information and for what benefit and for whose benefit he has been hiding the information from the public and from the South African authorities. And that's said and done, we also need to have presidents in Africa or leaders in Africa should be able to refrain from conflict of interest in this in their affairs or also their involvement in the public affairs of their nation and also the well-being of their nations. If a president, for example, is given kickbacks, and I'm not saying that President Cyril Ramaphosa is a corrupt leader. I'm saying people in Africa are used to taking kickbacks for contract at 10% or 15%. And that is what is bringing Africa down. You do not understand how a man would just get into power for 5 years and he has all the monies that you can imagine, bottomless pockets loaded with billions of dollars, and it can only be attributed to one thing: corruption and the preferring of public coffers. And also, as they continue advocating for free, transparent, and also open governance, we need to also speak our minds over the same. Leaders in Africa have made money in power more than even leaders in the West. Is Africa so rich that we depend on West to give us loans, and when these loans runs into our accounts in Africa, we steal this money and build one person at the BS of other millions of suffering Africans or fellow countrymen? We cannot have such kind of leaders. When you get into power, enrich yourself with public resources, and then we, the people of Africa, will suffer the brunt of your actions, because we are going to pay those loans as debt to foreign powers, and also as we continue suffering under inflation, and also pay huge taxes to be able to benefit you as a leader, to steal from the people of your country. It is wrong, it is sad, and it is not fathomable that leaders can enrich themselves using our taxes and using debts that they have taken for and behalf of our people, all debts that have been taken using the people of Kenya or any other country as a collateral. Dr. David Matanga, I submit.
Yeah, but President Cyril Ramaphosa has come out and said he will not step down because he does not want. That will mean that he committed an offense, which he has continued to maintain that he has not, and he's saying the police should continue with the investigation independently. And we have to remember that ANC is voting, is choosing a leader in December. So being criminally investigated will deter the president from re-election as ANC leader in December, and the ruling party has a resolution that prevents criminally charged members from contesting positions. So, of course, this has a lot to do with the political aspect. I don't want to say political witch hunt, but when you look at the timings of these revelations, I think this was done 2 years ago, and he has maintained this was his money after he sold, some animals. But people are asking, why didn't you not go and bank this money? Why are you keeping $4 million and under furnitures and things like that? So I think that is what is bringing him problems. But we have to remember about that election that is supposed to be happening in December, and that could be one of the key factors on why we are seeing this scandal coming out at this point in time. But also, I think there are legitimate questions that are being asked in regards to this, that Ramaphosa owes those answers to the people of South Africa. Doc, I think this is where we stop. Maybe you give our final...
Miriam,
yes.
Before we stop, let's start something on Democratic Republic of Congo and the war. Briefly, I'll do it. The war in Democratic Republic of Congo seems to be taking a higher... can I do a takeaway instead?
Yeah, go ahead. And remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta, the East African community is meeting on Sunday to reconstitute that the regional troops that they're sent to the DR probably next week.
First of all, I would like to say Sunday I might not be in a position to give my views when the meeting has already started, but let me give my views before the meeting starts. Conflicts in Africa take a lot of our time to resolve. The Democratic Republic of Congo has been the bedrock of most of the conflicts on the continent of Africa. Time and time again, rebel forces, which number to about 123 different rebel formats, have inhabited Democratic Republic of Congo. As leaders of East African Community and African Union arrive in Nairobi to hammer out an agreement or to hammer out ways, to find ways which can bring peace in this region. There are three fundamental risks or factors that they should put in account. One, the questions they should ask: who funds these rebels? Two, who arms the rebels? Three, whose interests are these rebels fighting for? I believe those three questions or those three factors are very, very important and crucial if we want to find long-lasting peace to the conflict of Democratic Republic of Congo. Who funds the rebels? Who arms the rebels? Whose interest are the rebels fighting for? Fellow Africans, you can find answers for those questions or factors. But the most important thing are the rebels themselves. From time to time, they have been called for peace talks. Some sit on the table. They exactly know who funds them, who arms them, and whose interests they are fighting for. Believe me or not, these rebels, some of them don't even say who gives them their arms. A conflict, a sharp conflict like that of the DRC Congo, those involved in mediating it must find and stop the funders, those who arm the rebels, and who are the beneficiaries of the war. If you don't stop the three categories, we shall have meetings and meetings, but solutions will be less. So until the truth comes that the funders, those who arm, who fund, and whose interest the rebels are fighting for, if you don't find answers to those questions, the solution in Democratic Republic of Congo will remain elusive, as the war itself remains elusive. It cools down, it comes again, it cools down, it comes again. Fellow Africans, it is time for us to focus on the three elements of funders, those who arm, those who fund, and whose interest are the rebels fighting for. I don't think we can go on wasting time, money, to find the solutions, yet the solution is just amongst us. The leaders sitting down on the table, the rebels sitting down on the table. those solutions are amongst us. I wish the meeting in Nairobi success, but as a peace and a conflict resolution expert, if I don't ask those questions, such a mediation I would not like to enter. If I'm not told who is arming who is funding who, and whose interest the rebels are fighting, I will not mediate such a conflict. But I wish Kenya and other countries, especially President Uhuru Kenyatta, good luck in this, because he has been a beacon of hope for most Africans in resolving some of these conflicts. He has already initiated the talks with the Ethiopian Tigray and the Ethiopian government. Your Excellency, I wish you good luck, but I pointed out those 3 factors. If you can look at them, you will find the answer. The answer lies there. Thank you very much, fellow Africans. That is as far the week that was and what we expect as Africans. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Back to you, Miriam.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you here on Sunday, God willing, for Africa Showdown. Thank you, Douglas Kirimi, for your time this afternoon, or this day. It's a minute past 1 p.m. Bye-bye.